Amanda in Anza, California. Am I saying that right?
Yes, Anza, California.
Hey, what's on your mind?
First of all, you have an amazing, beautiful mind, and I'm so grateful to listen to you.
Thank you,
I
Amanda.
just wanted to say, to talk about Julio saying that people just need to buck up is ridiculous. About 6 years ago, I had a really horrible back injury and started taking painkillers. And the way they work, your brain stops making the dopamine and serotonin little by little as you take them. So you need more and more, and you end up with this horrible addiction most of the time, a lot of people. And for years, I was stuck in this total cycle, and I couldn't have held a job or anything. And I needed help getting off of them, and my doctor couldn't help. There's nothing your primary care can do. I went to the mental health program, which was a joke. They couldn't help you either, and I was so desperate to get off these things. And finally, I met someone who said, "Well, why don't you go to a methadone clinic?" And I thought, well, that's just for heroin addicts. And they said, no, it's for any opioids. And I thought, why doesn't anyone know about this? So I went to them, and it was incredible and has changed my life because your brain needs something to help it balance out so it can start making the dopamine and serotonin again and get to a normal level.
Well, it's
If you
also
just
the
try and,
the endogenous opiates.
yeah,
Your body produces its own opiates, and
yes,
yeah, and
yes.
that shuts
So if you
down when
just
you're taking exogenous
Yeah.
opiates.
If you just stop, you can't just buck up and stop because
Right.
then you go into a suicidal depression. So this clinic was amazing and saved my life, and it was funded by California. So I love California. And in a year and a half, I mean, I'm happy, I'm healthy, I have an amazing job I love. And without the help, I wouldn't have that. I'd still
Have you successfully weaned yourself off the methadone now?
Not yet, but you know what? I'm not going to go fast. I'm on a very small dose, and I'm not going to go fast because if I do,
Sure.
my brain will immediately start telling me, okay, there's a little pill that can give you a little more. So
Right.
I'm taking it very slowly. I'm only on 20 milligrams. It's very slow, and I'm not in a hurry because everything is going so well.
Great.
And I'm able to have a job now because of this, a great job I love, and pay for my own insurance instead of being stuck in addiction and stuck on welfare Medi-Cal.
Yeah.
So he's just so out of touch.
Yep.
It's ridiculous.
Well, he's believing these old conservative talking points that are pretty much only believed by people who are members of the Lucky Sperm Club. Who were born, who have some wealth or who have been fortunate enough to come into circumstances where they have privilege, basically.
Yeah, exactly. If I had money, I could have paid a long time ago to go to some fancy rehab, but I don't.
Right.
Yeah. So thank God I got the help I did. So
Yep.
it's just ridiculous. There's so many people out there that are in the same position that got injured and are stuck and don't know what to do. And I really wish that was actually part of a treatment plan. Okay, you're injured, but down the road, if you heal enough that you don't need these, this is part of the treatment plan to get you off of them. I don't know why it's not. That's very strange to me, and why the doctors don't say, hey, there's these clinics that can help you get off.
Well, methadone is controversial in some circles because
I know people say,
it's a narcotic
it's
itself.
liquid jail, but you know what? From my experience, I have seen so many people graduate from the program, and it has not been liquid jail. It has given me my freedom back.
No, when I was a teenager, I knew a number of people who were heroin addicts, and several of them went on methadone and successfully not only got off the heroin, but ultimately got off the methadone. And that's a good thing. I'm just all in favor of treatment. However, whatever works for people. And it sounds like you've got it under control, Amanda. And I think that's an absolutely wonderful thing. And why we should say to somebody who's having a problem with drug addiction, whether they became drug addicts because, one day they just tried something and said, oh, this is fun recreationally, and they ended up stuck, or whether it's because they, like in your experience, they had an injury. I went through something similar to that when I was a teenager. I broke my back skydiving and was on narcotics for about 6 months. I don't recall a horrible withdrawal from it or anything, because my experience was once the pain ended, my reaction to the drugs changed, if that makes sense. But, everybody's got their own physiology and their own biochemistry, and we need to deal with these things appropriately. Amanda, thank you for sharing your story with us. I appreciate it. That was a very important one. Steph in San Diego. Hey, Steph, what's up?
William, one moment, I got to get my phone off speakerphone. Sorry about that.
Okay.
There we go. Yes, I was just calling with regard to Mario. I'm not sure who he is, and that's not
Julio.
the point. The point is, when listening to the topic, I like to look at things in political terms and what is a democracy and what are those values of the democracy. And one of the first thing that comes to mind is you want to help most of the people most of the time that you can based on what most of the people think they need. And, of course, health care is important. Medicare is important. But what I sensed or felt mostly from this person was a lot of anger, a lot of bitterness, and a lot of hate and casting a least of these onto someone else to rationalize not taking good care of the people.
Right.
In fact, those are the people that we need to be helping the most because the society is only as great as its weakest link, if you will. And if we're not caring about those people, they could be committing crimes, and you could argue all kinds of things. But it doesn't pass the first test. One, I think a democracy is very compassionate because it cares about the people.
Yeah.
We the people, in theory.
Yeah, Franklin Roosevelt was the guy who said that, the way you measure the quality of a society is by how it cares for the least among it. And as you just echoed, and it's brilliant. And somehow, it's just not part of the conservative mantra. Steph, thanks for the call. Great to hear from you.
You're listening to Thom Hartmann. Visit ThomHartmann.com for audio and video archives.
Back with more of your calls, and we're going to check in with Talk Media News and find out what's going on.